Good afternoon. How are you today, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Okay. So we're here talking with my Real Talk Radio host and founder. You want to introduce yourself?
What up, everybody? I am Jamel, host of Real Talk Radio. Um, I know my little intro is kind of lame, but just want to thank you for having me, and hope all is well.
Okay, good, good. It's good to have you here. I want to start off by asking for you to tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of your journey and how has it been thus far with my Real Talk Radio.
Okay. Well, basically, I'm a regular person, man. I'm fortunate enough to really be involved in some really good things. I act, I model. Of course, now I'm doing the radio thing as well. Just been really blessed, really fortunate to, you know, take some of the opportunities that God has blessed me with. And thankfully, they've been working. They've been successful. And, of course, everything is a work in progress. And just really happy to be involved in some of the things I'm involved in. But more so Real Talk Radio, it kind of started off something that just kind of started off, it was a couple of us who met online around this time last year. And we used to be a part of a board where you just kind of, you're on Facebook and you're discussing, we would always discuss TLC, which was the female group. And this was around the time that the movie came out. And, we would all, a couple of us, we would always discuss the movie and, we would all have our different opinions on it. What we liked, what we didn't like. Of course, we didn't really particularly like the movie because, the way they had portrayed Left Eye, they didn't portray her in the best light. Not saying that she was perfect, but, Tion and Chili left out a lot of really important things when it came to the movie. So we would discuss it, just, going back and forth and airing out our grievances of it. And and one day I just was, thinking like, we should really start a radio station. And it really was just something that, you kind of talk about things and you mention things, but, of course, there's never no action behind it. And I'm just always been one of those people, like, my imagination is huge. So it's like when I think of certain things, I'm just one of those people that kind of act on it. So when I thought about it, I had figured out that Blog Talk, was a place where you can kind of create your own radio station and that kind of thing. So I had signed up for it. And pretty much then we were doing our own show. It started off with I think 5 of us. Then of course eventually from 5 it became 3 of us. And then from 3 it became just Flash and I. And then him and I pretty much kind of was doing it the majority of the year ourselves. And then we recently got our third co-host, which is Derrick Dwayne, and we've just been doing it ever since. I started, we do everything pretty much ourselves. We kind of started doing, with our own advertisement. We would just going on air, interviewing just like regular people, anybody that was inspiring artists and that kind of thing. And we were pretty much kind of like, anybody that would come on our show, we were appreciative of. And I just started preparing my own proposals and started to send proposals out to different celebrities. And to be honest with you, for the last 6 months, we've had celebrities on our show each and every week. And that's really mainly because I got tired of waiting on people to do stuff for us. So I just started, I learned how to write proposals and started getting celebrities to come on. I think our first big names were like Maya encounters Vaughn, and ever since then we start to just get huge celebrities, and pretty much the rest is history.
Okay. What is the one thing that you want your listeners to retain?
I just really, really want them to understand that, what we do was not something that's easy. It wasn't handed to us. It wasn't something that, we bust our behinds trying to build our brand, trying to expand, and, and more importantly, getting celebrity guests. We just want people to just kind of really, really respect and appreciate the hard work that goes behind it. We're unscripted. I think our station has somewhat of an edge to it. But most importantly, we're always respectful to our guests. And we really, really push ourselves. We really, really work hard. Like, I think people really don't understand, how much work I put into building this and pushing this and expanding this and really, really keeping this going. We really work hard.
A couple of questions came to mind just as you were speaking. The first question, I'll start off with a statement. But when you're working on a project or working on something and you give it your all, you sometimes encounter obstacles. Tell me a little bit about some of your obstacles that you have faced to bring your show to the marketplace, and what have you done to overcome some of your obstacles?
I think with me, I'm just one of those people, like, literally, when I set my eye on something, come hell or high water, I'm going to get it. And I think a lot of times that, a lot of people want to be involved in things, and they see how, they see, everybody always sees the end product, but nobody really, really understands the hard work and dedication that it really, really goes into making something like this work.
Right.
And me, this is what I do. I'm like, I have a passion for this. I'm going to see this thing succeed, whether it's by myself or whether I have a whole entourage. So it's like, when you're passionate about something, you really, really want to see something grow. You're going to do whatever you can to push that product, and you're going to make it work regardless of the fact. And you may lose some friends along the way. You may not, because not everybody has that work ethic. Some people just want to be, just want to be along for the ride, but they put, a quarter of that effort in. And I think especially with our business, with this, with entertainment, you can't come over here and half-ass. You really, really have to have your A game. And if you don't, trust me, your fans will hit you up and be like, yo, I don't like this. This person needs to go, or, this person is not hyped enough, or this person doesn't know what they're talking about, or you need to restructure your product. So, of course, we get a lot of different opinions and that kind of thing, but I'm just one of those people is, if you're not going to put 100% in what you do and have a love for it, then you shouldn't do it.
So then how do you prepare for your radio show?
I just think with us, of course, we're not bringing you anything first. Of course, we get all exclusive, we report pop culture. So, of course, we get our pop culture from different blogs and that kind of thing. But, what I've learned is, especially with online radio, because online radio is becoming the thing right now, and it's a little bit different from the standard radio, because what I've learned is people are not calling to hear music from us. Because you have an iPad, you can always go and listen to an exclusive song or that kind of thing. They're calling and listening to us to hear what our opinion is about certain topics. Not to mention the celebrity guests, of course. So the important thing to me is just a matter of, okay, report the facts. That's the most important thing. Get your story up, but make sure you report those key things, and then you add your opinion onto it. And I think the great thing about us is we don't always agree on everything. Half of the time we don't agree on anything. But that's the magic of it. Because if I was listening to a radio show and we've all agreed on certain things, there's no room for debate.
Exactly, right.
So, I know for myself, I make sure I prepare, I'm reading my notes, I'm, taking it seriously, and I'm really, really just not going up there saying, oh, well, I'm just going to go up there on a limb. That's not me. You have some people who can do that and do it well. Me, I like to really, really be prepared. I like to be able to know exactly what I'm talking about. And I want to be able to give you guys my opinion, but I want you guys to really, really be able to understand where I'm coming from. Whether you agree with me or not, at least you can say, well, at least he reported the facts.
That you mentioned that your show came from the TLC movie, and it started off as maybe a chat board or something of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
If your show came as a result of that, I wonder what the hell you're going to do next in response to the Aaliyah movie.
I think the thing that really pissed me off with the TLC movie is because, of course, I grew up with TLC. They were, my favorite group. Of course, Lisa was always my favorite.
Oh, so that means you were biased.
Not particularly biased. It's just the thing of, if you're a TLC fan, you knew a lot of things that happened back then with them. Some things probably may be a little bit new to you, but you pretty much kind of knew how certain things happened or whatever the case might be. Fortunately, with TLC, I've got a chance to meet Left Eye's Uncle Kyle, which he was, he designed a lot of TLC's clothes, and he was also her stylist as well. And we've been able to develop a relationship with him. So, one, we found that the family, wasn't particularly involved in the TLC movie. That kind of raised the red flag. And then, when, Tiana and Chili didn't even invite them to the premiere of the movie. Left Eye's sister was invited to the movie because her friend was actually one of the dancers in the movie. And then when I saw the movie a couple of days prior because Crystal, the original member of TLC, somebody from T-Bob's camp leaked the movie to her, and she was just so outraged that she sent it. She had sent the movie out. So I was able to see it a couple of days beforehand. And when I watched it, I'm just like, a lot of this is not true, and you left a lot of it out. But the most important thing is the way that they depicted Lisa was just horrible. It was like she was just a selfish, alcoholic, rude person, whereas Tion and Chili were these saints, which was not the case. They left out so many things. And I don't want to, degrade Chili or T-Bob, so I'm not going to really make too many comments on it regarding it.
Oh, it's too late now. It is too late.
Then it pissed me off because you guys were here to tell that story, and this is what you gave the new generation of TLC fans. And you have some fans who will look at that movie and believe that movie, pound for pound. I think with the Aaliyah movie, everybody has so much flack going on with Wendy Williams, and they hate her now and all of a sudden, that kind of thing. But the thing I will say about this, I don't think a lot of these movies should even be made if the family, if you don't have the family's blessing. So I will agree with that.
Really? How many projects won't be made then? Because, you have that element of we wouldn't like for our loved one to come off as a bad person.
Right.
Or maybe we just were so hurt by that person's death that to see all of that on screen, we're revisiting that, and we're not prepared for that.
I think anything that is done properly and taken into consideration, you have to keep that in mind. I think the thing with Aaliyah, hell, I've always wanted to know the relationship between her and R. Kelly and why her parents would even allow something like that. Always wanted to know.
Because they didn't.
So I think Aaliyah, I think Wendy Williams, I don't think she's a horrible person. Of course, her movie was based off a novel that was written about Aaliyah and that kind of thing, and, got so much backlash. Family wasn't, particularly, didn't want the movie out and that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, Aaliyah is a human being. So despite how many people she dated and that kind of thing, especially when she was older, I can care less about I'm not going to say I didn't care, but with her, supposedly dating Jay-Z and being Dash and that kind of thing, it is what it is. My thing with the movie that really, really pissed me off really wasn't particularly her. It was the fact that nobody's parents, their parents could not have told me that they didn't know that relationship between her and R. Kelly. And I say that in terms of, she met R. Kelly when she was like 12, 13, 14 years old. And as a parent, I'm not a parent, but I know, I have nieces and nephews and godchildren, and I know I don't care about anybody's record deal or that kind of thing. My friends or sister is not going to let their 13-year-old daughter hang out with a grown man, period, and especially unsupervised.
Right.
So when I see old interviews with Aaliyah and R. Kelly, and R. Kelly knew better. Aaliyah was 15 years old, so she was a little girl. But when you look at some of their old interviews and some of the body language, they were dressing up with the same clothes on and that kind of thing. And I remember one interview, she was on BET with him, and they had the same thing on, and she said that he was her best friend. You're 15 years old. There's no way in the world that a grown-ass man should be your best friend. And I think even the host even asked her, are you guys dating or something like that? And
the cat that swallowed the canary, right?
Right.
Oh, no.
Right. You wouldn't normally even ask a 15-year-old girl is she dating a 25-year-old man, but the body language, you just seen it. So when I saw the movie and the parents, one was letting this girl be, unsupervised with this man, and the whole thing with them being, I think they knew. I think they kind of turned a blind eye to it, just because they, she wanted it so bad and she wanted to be in the industry and that kind of thing. And it's not just them. A lot of people pimp out their children for this entertainment industry. I mean, look at Kris Jenner with the Kardashians. Fortunately,
right.
She was able to turn it into an empire the whole family could use. But, it is what it is. Shout out to Aaliyah, shout out to her fans and family and that kind of thing. But we can't, we can be angry, but like I said, all these fans who claim that they weren't going to watch the movie, guess what? They gave Lifetime some really, really great ratings. So, but, everybody's pissed off about it, and rightfully so. But like I said, I'm not going to lie to you. I tuned in because I really, really wanted to know the extent of the relationship. And, of course, they touched on it, but I do think it was a lot more. But if I'm going to fault anybody, I am going to look at her uncle and her parents for even letting her not work with R. Kelly. That's not the issue, but letting a 15-year-old girl be unsupervised with a grown-ass man. And it had to be a lot if, they were actually getting married. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. You touched on this a little bit earlier when you talked about some of the issues that are discussed on your show in terms of pop culture, and the issues are not scripted. How do you come up with the issues from Jump Street? How do you sit down and just talk about it, or what?
Well, before we started to get celebrity guests, like now, our show is pretty much based around a particular celebrity. And of course, we, the pop culture and that kind of thing. We just try to get some of the biggest stories, that may particularly be important. I may report something that you guys may not even give a damn about. You know what I'm saying? But with there's three of us on there, of course we're going to report, the biggest thing that's being talked about at this particular point in time. It's just a matter of, again, what people want to hear, what you really feel like reporting at that particular point in time, and what moves you. Sometimes something, of course, reality-based television is the biggest thing right now, music industry, news, different gossips and that kind of thing. Just whatever is really at that point in time. We try to stay current. We try to stay, with the trends and the topics that everybody else is talking about. Because again, people are really listening. Not only to hear the celebrity interview, but just to see what our opinion, our spin on what's going on right now.
What is the weirdest or craziest thing that's ever happened on your show?
Oh, wow. I mean, we've argued on the show. We've disagreed. But I would say the craziest interview, the most weirdest thing is we were interviewing a rapper named Frenchie. And, it was a regular interview. And he was on the show. And one, it was kind of intimidating because, you have some people who just answer the question and they're so stiff and they're so, not open. And he, of course, with him being a rapper, I'm pretty sure he's not going to really be too open to be doing an interview with, some people that he don't know. And around that time, we were fairly new. But
you pulled out a Jack Daniels bottle and just started having shots, right?
I mean, if I drink, I probably would have, because he was literally in his car during the interview to actually get ready to go get weed and roll up. And I think I asked him, I'm like, what you doing over there? He was like, I'm going to get some weed. I'm about to roll up. So literally, we were doing the interview with him while he was like on his way to his weed man to get weed to actually roll up. So I think that was the strangest interview that we possibly ever did, but we got through it. It's not an interview that I'm proud of, because that was a hard interview because he really wasn't giving us anything. But we were live, so we had to literally roll with the punches.
Okay, and you had to go in your weed, text your weed man right quick. And the tone of your voice changed to something real mellow.
I don't smoke a drink, so not me.
Or at least you know not to say that during an interview.
Right. And I said the same. I'm saying to myself, I know he didn't say that, but I'm like, hey, we're unscripted. This is what you get here on Real Talk Radio. So, and we've had a couple of different crazy interviews. I can't think of everything on the top of my head, but I think that one sticks out a little bit more than the others in terms of how crazy that was.
As I was doing a little research on you and your show, you know what? We've been Facebook friends for a while.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yes.
Let me tell you, everybody hates me because when I tell you I'm horrible when it comes down to Facebook Messenger, because I get so many messages, and a lot of it can be for people who want me to hear their music, people who be trying to just holler. So it's like I really check it. And I'm always on Facebook really more so just to promote the product and that kind of thing. So, and I remember you hitting me up a long time ago, but I honestly thought that you were one of those people who were just sending me music, listen to this, I want to come on the show. And a lot of times these people want to come on the show, but one, they're not even following our page or, following us on Twitter. So sometimes I just kind of play a blind eye to it. It's like, you want me to put you on our show, but you're not even following our product on social media, which doesn't take any type of effort, So,
right. So that's a lesson for all of you people out there.
Yeah, right.
At least like me on Facebook. At least follow me on Twitter.
Right.
Before you want me to play your mixtape or whatever else.
When I tell you, I get so much stuff. Like, my inbox is filled with nothing but, and it's hard to go through it because, like I said, like, people don't understand, like, not only am I, an on-air personality, but like I said, I'm booking these celebrities, I'm writing proposals, I'm programming everything. It's a lot of work. So it's like, and this is not to mention my full-time regular job, because I live a real life, and of course, with me, doing acting and modeling and that kind of thing. So my plate is pretty full. So don't take it personal that I don't respond to some of these things. But I do a lot, you know what I'm saying? And this is not to discredit, the other two, because, they definitely help out and do their thing as well. But, it's busy over here.
Now, the one thing that stuck out when I took a look at your page, most recently I saw something that mentioned that your show reached a major milestone. You recorded your 100th episode. So are you recording every day or twice a week or what?
When you start these things, and again, especially anything with entertainment, it's so hard. So for us to be able to celebrate 100 episodes and counting is huge for us. And what we do is, like I said, our show goes live Sundays and Wednesdays every week. We have been fortunate enough, like we're on syndicated now, where our show literally plays 7 days a week, whether it's on thedailygrindmovement.com or whether it's on alldigitalradio.com. As we're speaking right now, our show is being played, it's syndicated. So that's something that you can't, excuse me, my dog is going nuts. That's something that you can't, we would never have thought that we would even, one, reach 100 episodes, but two, signing deals to have our show syndicated. So it's with that alone, that's a huge blessing. But, we record our show twice a week. It is times that we'll record like special shows where we may go on a Friday or that kind of thing. It's just about keeping up with the times. Like, I think the last time we went on a Friday was when we celebrated, I think, the Rhythm Nation 25-year anniversary of Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation special. And we've been on live.
You have to reach out to Janet to have her on the show.
Well, Janet is kind of hard. We didn't reach out to Janet, but I did reach out to a lot of people around her, people that work with her. And we were able to get, actually we couldn't get anybody for her special, but I think 2 weeks prior we had one of the choreographers that worked with her and Michael on for a Michael Jackson special, which of course we were celebrating. It was a Michael Jackson milestone. I just can't think of what it is right now, but I think it was his birthday. But I think instead of us doing the show on his birthday, we did it a week later because we knew everybody was going to be doing tributes to Michael that day. So we did, we put together our show like a week later, and we had Sean Cheeseman, which is one of the choreographers who worked with Michael Jackson, and Janet. And that was a really, really good interview, and, he really shed some light on working with both Michael and Janet, and that was really, really fun. But, if there's a special occasion or something like that, then we'll go on a day that we don't particularly go on, whether it's doing a tribute, like, we did, we reviewed Little Kim's mixtape, and that was like on a day that wasn't when we would normally go on, excuse me. So, we just kind of, now, we're a lot more structured. Like I said, our main days are really, really Sundays and Wednesdays, but every so often we'll go on different days depending on, what's happening at that moment. Some things you want to report or you want to be able to capitalize that day. So,
Almost like breaking news.
Yeah. And the great thing about it is, matter of fact, this month, November 25th, is our year anniversary, and we're going to be celebrating that on the 30th. Maya is going to actually come back on and celebrate with us, so we're excited about that too.
You mentioned, I asked the question disregarding your reaching that milestone for your 100 episode. What will the next 100 shows have to offer?
I think everything is about structure, about branding. We are a work in progress, so we're constantly trying to really, push our show, expand it, build our social media followings, and just creating a My Real Talk Radio nation, of dedicated listeners, people who really enjoy our product, and we've gotten some really great numbers this year in terms of our viewership and just really good guests. So, it's just about continuing to step it up, continuing to improve, and just continue to really do it. So everything that we did this year, we want to do it 20 times harder, the next 100 episodes. So hopefully I can come back on and talk to you guys and tell you that we got signed to a major deal, and we got a studio, we got picked up by, somebody at Clear Channel or something like that. So,
right.
We just continuing to try to collectively really push the product, and you never know, you never know what can really happen, and the sky's the limit, when it comes to where you can go, because I've seen where this came from, and looking at where we're at and where we're going, the possibilities are endless.
Okay, so one day your listeners are going to be treated to a live concert and interview.
Hey, it would be wonderful.
Possibly.
It would be wonderful. That's
Well,
definitely the goal.
Yeah, that would be outstanding. Make sure you give me a call and that I'm right there on the front row when that happens.
Oh,
and I won't accept. I didn't have time to send out invites or something like that.
Oh, no, trust me. I think with this journey, people have really been patient with us and really stuck with us. And, again, I stress this, like, these things are not an easy thing to maintain and run, literally, because, one, there's so much competition out there. Everybody is doing radio. Everybody's a singer. Everybody's an actor. So what makes your product stand out? One thing I will say for us, for people to trust our product is probably one of the best feelings, because there's not many radio stations that can consistently say that they've had celebrities on each and every week. And we are probably one of the very few stations who can say who've had celebrities on consistently each and every week. And mainly twice a week. Not just one day, I believe, but usually, we have celebrities twice a week. And that is an amazing feat. That's not something that I take for granted. And like I said, when you work hard, when you're multitasking, you're losing sleep and that kind of thing, you're going to do whatever you possibly, the work, the results are going to show. But, so like I said, for us to be fortunate to have celebrities on every week, we've had some amazing guests, some amazing celebrities. And the great thing about it is, a lot of these celebrities that have been on the show, and I have that relationship where if I want to text them and say, hey, how's everything going, that kind of thing, it's not a problem, And
that's great. That is wonderful.
And that's a really good feeling, because these celebrities, they can block their numbers. They don't have to, but I don't text them on anything personal. It's mainly business. But you have some celebrities who would hit you up and be like,
they appreciate.
Right, definitely.
So, you just tease. You're teasing. You are teasing us. You know, I must know some of the names of these celebrities who have come down to who you have interviewed for your show.
Wow, I think we're literally up to close to over 100 guests. But, you know, we've had Maya, Countess Vaughn, Faith Evans, Tiffany Fox, who else? I mean, there's so many people. We've had Black on the show. We've had Jagged Edge. We've had Day 26. We've had, wow, you know, Q from 112. I mean, we've had so many different celebrity guests on here that I can't even say. I mean, I could pull out a list somewhere real quick and let you know, but we've been fortunate to have so many great, great guests. I mean, Denise Boutesh, the actress. We just had, well, I can't even think right now, but we've had so many people on our show, like literally. I mean, that's a lot of names that I'm even forgetting at this point, but.
Oh, it's okay. They'll call you after this. How dare you not mention me?
Right. But it's an amazing. That's a good problem when you can kind of forget how many people you've had on. But we've had so many celebrity guests on here. It's just hard to even name everybody. But we've had a great amount of celebrity guests on, like literally. But if you go to myrealtalkradio.com or our Facebook like page at Real Talk Radio, you know, we keep an updated list of so many people that have been on there. So you guys can definitely check that out and you know, just see for yourself the people that's been on our show. And we've also got, you know, our archives. You can always go back and listen to all of our previous episodes as well. So you can, you know, you can actually hear, you know, the interviews as opposed to seeing it on paper. But we've been so fortunate to have some amazing people on our show.
Now, you know what? Let's say that I were an artist. Well, I am an artist. But if I were a performing artist or a promoter and I was interested in being on my Real Talk Radio show, what should I do?
Well, one, follow us on our social media outlets. That's the most important
Okay,
thing.
so let's make that clear to everybody. Don't just hit you up.
And you can, you know, go to, you know, of course, on our website, myrealtalkradio.com, go to the contact page. And like I said, we have, like, you know, we have so many requests. So, you know, don't be, you know, be patient with us because we have so many people who are trying to be on the show. And, you know, and especially with celebrity-wise, like, you know, before I used to have, like, and, you know, it's still that way too, but before I used to be the person that had to write all these posts for different celebrities. Now you have celebrities hitting us up, like, listen, I need you know, public hitting us up. I need my client on your show, and it's a really, really good feeling. So, you know, of course, with this, we even have a waiting list for celebrities. So, you know, we're trying to, like, reach out and get to everybody. Just be patient. But, you know, if you're persistent and it's something that, you know, we'll definitely try to get to everybody and, you know, and get you on, you know. And so, you know, that's pretty much really, really it, to be honest with you.
So don't just go to Jamel on Facebook. We want to be clear.
Right.
Go
you
to
don't have
my
to go,
Real Talk Radio.
Right. myrealtalkradio.com. Go, you know, go onto the contact page and, you know, send your information there. And, you know, more than likely, you know, we're going to eventually get back to you. Like, you know, I tell you, we get so many requests for people being on the show. And we look at a lot of things. We want to look at people who kind of have their stuff together in terms of, you know, you can tell when you go to somebody, you know, who has a website and their stuff is just on, you know, it's professional looking, it's on point. You know, you can tell that they care about their product and they care about their brand. So automatically that's going to bump you to the front as opposed to somebody who, oh, I got a mixtape coming out, but, you know, you don't even see them pushing it. You don't see no followers. You don't see that lack of professionalism behind it. So, you know, those are some of the things that I particularly look at. And I also reach out to certain, my ear is constantly to the streets, and my eyes are always on blogs. I'm always looking for the next big thing. I'm always looking for people that have a story to tell.
Right.
And
Right.
so I'm always constantly looking for different guests and that kind of thing. You don't have to be a celebrity to be on our show. We've had Casey Clark, which is an internet sensation, which is probably going to be the next big thing. Like, he has stuck it together. He has a huge following. And he's already making some really, really big moves. But we reach out to a lot of different people. And we try to give our audience what we want. Half of the time, our audience, we ask often, who do you guys want to see on the show? And sometimes, majority of the times they will say celebrities, and we'll reach out to them. But you do have a lot of people who will say, "Oh, you got to get this guy. Like, he's created a following just off of making crazy interviews and videos on Instagram." And I'll research him, look him up, and I'll say, "Well, you know what? This would be a good thing to interview. Hit this person, especially those who use their fame or popularity to give back. That's a plus, because none of us have gotten here, by ourselves, and I think sometimes we get to a point where we think we're too good, or we don't want to use that to help out. And, the great thing with Real Talk Radio and our platform, we've done cancer specials and HIV awareness specials and that kind of thing, just to spread that awareness, just to let people know that, we have to work together, regardless of gender or sex or anything like that. So we try to use our platform to give back as well.
Right, right. So I do want to thank you very much just for speaking with me this evening and talking about my Real Talk Radio and just spitting some knowledge. And I would have said smoking some weed too, but I don't smoke it. I don't know. Maybe you were puffing, and I don't know about it.
When I tell
No?
you, I'm drug-free, alcohol-free. I don't smoke, I don't drink. It's just not me. But I want to say thank you, because you were actually the first show to feature myself or our brand on there. So I definitely appreciate you for just giving us that opportunity to tell our story. I know I probably sound like a crazy lunatic because I'm a little nervous right now, but
Why? I'm making you nervous?
No, I mean I'm such I'm nervous with anything that I do. When I'm on air, I'm nervous. When I'm
okay. You're one of those down to earth shy people. I didn't know you were shy.
I'm a naturally shy person, and a lot of people don't believe that. But I'm definitely a shy person.
Okay. No, I wasn't laughing like I don't believe that. Yeah, right. No. It's been a pleasure talking with you. And
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, one more time. If I want to get my music or I want you to interview me on the show, what should I do?
Make sure you guys just follow us on all of our social media outlets. You can hit us up on our website at My Real Talk Radio. And if you go there, that they're all of our social media outlets, whether it's the group or individually, is all on there. You can follow us on Twitter at My Real Talk Radio. You can hit us up on Facebook at Real Talk Radio, Instagram at My Real Talk Radio. And if you want to listen to all of our previous celebrity interviews, you can download the free app from your Android or iPhone called Mixcloud and just add My Real Talk Radio, and that way our show can be delivered to your PC, smartphone, or tablet free of charge each and every week, and you also can listen to all of our previous episodes. So, a couple ways to reach us. But make sure, if you guys want to, be on our show, and you do hit me up and you ask, at least follow us on our social media outlets. I mean, that's just a given, right?
Right. Basic. Okay.
And can I shout out? I do want to say thank you to just everybody who's rocking with us, everybody who listens to our show weekly, everybody who shares our links on Twitter or Facebook. You guys don't understand. We definitely appreciate it because, like I said, without your support, we really wouldn't be here. And I don't care how many celebrity guests we have on. If people are not listening to the product, it doesn't mean anything. So for you guys to listen to our show and really feel that passionate about our show as we do, we definitely appreciate it. And I also would like to thank my co-hosts, Flash Gotti and Derrick Dwayne, for just, what you guys contribute to the product and, dealing with my crazy ass, with the, with our boring staff meetings and that kind of thing. But, thank you guys for, wanting to see this thing go to the next level as much as I do. So thank you.
Thank you.